speaker, Dr. Gautam, is a well-known neurosurgeon at Chennai. He has published research articles, won honors at neuro conferences, has clinical expertise in neuro-oncology, cerebrovascular, neurospine, and pediatric neurosurgery. He has taken time today to educate and help us understand epilepsy better. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Gautam.
Good
Today,
morning,
I'm
sir.
going to briefly describe about epilepsy. Initially, I'll be just discussing about what is epilepsy and what is its impact, like that. And afterwards, mostly it will be a colorful screens only. Okay. So, what is epilepsy? It is an chronic, non-communicable disease of the brain that affects almost all ages, and nearly in worldwide, 50 million people are there. And 80% of these epilepsy patients live in low and middle income groups. It is estimated that 70% of people living with epilepsy could live with seizure free if properly diagnosed and treated early. And the risk of premature death is 3 times more than the normal population. So there are 3/4 of patients who live in low income groups do not get the treatment what they are required. And in many parts of the world, people with epilepsy and their families suffer from stigma and discrimination. Other common signs are sometimes there may be a loss of consciousness or anxiety, or there may be sudden staring or weakness in the limbs. So, what is aura? Aura is one symptom of seizures where it will precede a seizure attack, or it precedes an epilepsy. So, what are the main symptoms? They feel like strange feelings can come. You feel like there may be something you remind of previous episodes, or you feel some smell, or you hear some sounds, or you feel some visual disturbances or some flickers of the light. Sometimes there may be lightheadedness, there may be nausea or tingling or numbness. So once these symptoms occur, and if they regularly occur, that means after seizure, once the child or a person feels that they are feeling the aura, immediately they have to be stabilized. Can everyone hear me, right?
Yes,
Hello?
sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
we can hear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what are the stages of seizure? There may be first initially the aura comes, and then after that you can see that distorted sounds, confusion, hallucinations. Then there may be a tonic phase where there will be tightness in all the limbs, and then there will be jerky movements or frothy saliva, and then there may be weakness of the lips. So what is the first aid? How do, once you have been on the side of a patient, so what you will do? See, this is first aid in GTCS. So once the patient falls, you have to be very cool. Okay. Then what you should do? I think this is a very important thing which you have to follow. You should keep the person safe. And second thing, you should not panic. Then you should help the patient to be more free, and you should not restrict him. You need to roll them onto one side. After that, you have to remove any obstacles or any things which are near to them. Okay, this is the important portion, and you should not allow anyone to be nearby and remove any like stake or any spectacle something. And you should protect their head, and you should note the time of seizures. Generally, the seizures last for 2 to 5 minutes, not beyond that. And during this period, you should not give anything to the patient, and you should not try to restrain the patient. If you try to restrain, patient may develop fractures, and you should see what is exactly happening in the seizure, so that once a medical personnel comes, you have to understand, you have to explain to them. So after the seizure attack, generally these patients may recover, or they will they will do they will recover generally. You should just reassure them that a single episode happens. Okay. So after that, what you need to do? So these are the main three things what you have to do when a patient is in seizure attack. You should grasp the leg above the knee and roll the casualty towards you. Use your knees to stop the patient rolling towards more and holding the hand of the patient and keep the cheek as well as support the head. And this is the position which the patient should be there. You have to keep his hand below the head to prevent the fluid or frothing from the nose going into the limbs. And the head should be supporting by the hand. So, what is the next type of seizure? Most common seizure is the first aid for focal seizures. You can see this is a family where Miss Lay has something like focal seizure. Suddenly, she has confused and she will not be responding and she will develop left upper limb movement. Generally, in focal seizures, they don't lose consciousness. They'll be very conscious, but they will be unable to control. So in these seizures, you should just be calm, take all the things away from the patient so that she will not hit all to them, and then observe what is happening. Sometimes you can keep the patient in the previous position, what I have explained to them. So what is status epilepticus? This is a very important scenario where the seizures last beyond 30 minutes or longer, or there may be multiple episodes of seizures in 30 minutes, and the patient will not recover beyond consciousness. So before they regain consciousness, they will develop one more seizure. It is a medical emergency, and especially these patients, the most common things are epilepsy syndromes or cerebral damage or brain tumors or some alcohol or drug overdose or some body fluid abnormalities. And this is a very important thing because this causes cerebral damage. Okay, and these once you see a patient is in status epilepticus, immediately you have to inform. And when to call an ambulance? Generally, one single episode of seizure, once the patient recovers to normalcy, they can go home and can get treated, or they can be immediately going themselves to the hospital. But sometimes, if the patient is injured, or if the food or fluid or the vomiting from the patient is there, if you see, it may go into the lungs. Okay, or if sometimes when the patient is in the pool, they may develop seizures, or when there is any breathing difficulty, or any like what I said, status epilepticus, where there are multiple seizures lasting than 5 minutes. In these scenarios, you have to call ambulance immediately. So what are the potential triggers? So you know that, okay, this child has seizure. So what are the what you should do? Okay, you should not have these are the triggers of seizure. Like child should not be kept under stress, and there should not be any drugs, or there should not be, or if the patient is elderly, they should not have cigarette, alcohol, or something. Okay, and you should prevent high temperatures. Okay, and especially they should not see a mobile phone in the night, because now it causes flickering of lights, and there may be a photosensitivity and causes problem. And sometimes when a patient is when in a woman, because of the hormonal stress, they may develop these seizures. So what are the risks with epilepsy? So the main thing is stigma and quality of life. Okay, overprotected versus informed choice and consent. So what are the common things? The risk of injury and fracture. So once they fall, they will have head injury, or sometimes they have shoulder dislocations, and this may cause increased admissions. And sometimes they may have medication side effects. And the very important thing is SUDEP. Okay, it is called sudden unexpected death in epilepsy, which is important thing, especially it occurs in children. So, what is mental retardation? I want to bring about, because most of you are special educators. What is mental retardation and epilepsy? How they are connected to each other? In general, the seizures are more common in mentally retarded children, and even in patients with epilepsy, the IQ is significantly low in some patients. And if the patient is having mental retardation with IQ of 50 to 70, the chances of epilepsy significantly rises by 6%. And if it is the severe mental retardation, there may be a profound 50% increase in seizures. So, how do you know this child has both the episodes? Usually, because of the brain function, because of the in patients with a mentally retarded child, there may be multiple brain injuries or brain development issues may be there. So, what all you should see? They will have a poor social achievements, poor self help, and coping skills are very less. Excessive dependence on family for age, and aberrant behavior like hyperactivity or sudden autistic behaviors. And sometimes there may be like neurocutaneous markers, like you see some swellings on the face, on the body, or some patches over the bodies. So these kind of patients have brain tumors or brain lesions. So in these patients, if you see like any change in their periodic alteration of conscious levels or any abnormal involuntary movements, immediately it has to be brought under notice. So a low threshold should be there in patients with mental retardation. So how do you diagnose? So it is mainly by clinical diagnosis only. Okay, history and background, especially in family history, if you should ask whether whenever you are taking the special child or whenever in normal school, you should have a good background of family history, whether they have seizures or not. Okay. And you should always do the IQ testing for special kids, and genetic testing is a must. And the brain imaging and EEG will give you a view of planning for further management. So how do we do? Okay, it should be a team effort to treat this child. Okay, I'm not going much deep about how do we treat and what are the going to treat, but it should be a multidisciplinary team. First, the support from the family. Next, the individual has to cope up on his own, and then the schools. So, what are the practical safety tips? So, ensure family, friends, and colleagues that epilepsy, and whenever you come to know that there is one patient of epilepsy who is working along with you, the side who are the colleagues have to be given the explanation about the what is the first aid and how to attend all these epilepsies. And you always, someone has to take care about the medical medications, whether they are taking the medication or not. You have to see, especially children, if you give the tablet, generally they vomit or they will just throw it out. So you have to be there, you have to give the tablets to the child, and you have to see whether they have taken it or not, because once the child misses the tablet, automatically they will develop seizure. Okay. And generally, like what you have to do is you have to inform the people's schedule and what is the routine to the people. And always there should be a medical alert bracelet or necklace. You have to keep some card, okay, on the pocket, or the required tablet. Sometimes when a seizure develops, we keep some tablets below the tongue. So those things, everything has to be kept in the bag or the pocket of the patient. And the sporting activities, no major active sports like football or like that, where you will have contact. Those things you should prevent. So what is our role? Okay. So the main thing of the main important thing is obtaining information about the patient epilepsy. For example, if you are recruiting a child in a special home, or if you're recruiting a child in a school, or if you're recruiting any person in a job, you should know what is the exact health condition of the child. You should know what is the epilepsy. You should know how there will be changes whenever he develops a behavior change, or whenever there is change in ability from the family. You should get all the details, and you should keep in everything record, and it should be properly communicated to all the staffs. Okay. And you should make a risk assessment for each child, and they should be clearly given all the epilepsy awareness. So what all how do we think like what are the information required for patients epilepsy? So you should have a epilepsy contact details. So all the things has to be there on the card. So emergency contact details, what are the types of seizures, any warnings or telltale signs of pending seizure, like what is called, I spoke to you about aura, right? Something like that. And what happens, and how long does the seizure last, and how person is following a seizure and what first aid is appropriate, and details of emergency medication. Everything should be there in the car. Okay, then only it is easy to manage these type of kids. So the next thing is living with epilepsy. So there may be many fears and myths about epilepsy because most of us don't know about lack of knowledge. Example, as a doctor, even when I'm studying MBBS, if a patient develops any seizures, we used to panic. We don't know what to do. So like these things can be immediately like slowly we should go on teaching all the new staff. Whenever you recruit some new staff, you have to explain them what is epilepsy, as it is a major thing, especially in special schools. You have to every time keep on telling the patient who is on seizure, you should check or to the IMS who are all there. Na? We should explain them. Okay, these can happen. You should support the child like that. So by finding out about the patient epilepsy, you will have a better understanding how you can help. And the children and adults should be encouraged to actively participate in the same activities as their peers. So whenever you see some seizure patient, you should not restrict them full and full. Okay, you should give minimal restrictions so that they will develop some confidence and they will be going for it. But you should not. You should prevent a contact sports like driving fast or major bike driving or going onto high surfaces or going climbing onto big walls. Something those activities should be treated with carefully. So I think I'm quite clear about what I explained. Thanks for listening, and any questions you can get back to me. So,
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
sir. Very
Thank you very
clear,
much.
very nice session. I have a question.
yeah.
Uh, the medication which children who have epilepsy,
Yes.
does it affect their sleep? Because when we have kids in class, sometimes in the morning session they're very sleepy and they
Yes.
say it's because of
Yes.
the medication.
Yes, yes. See, these medications, what mostly child responds, they have some effect on the sleep of the child. Sometimes the sleep pattern changes. Okay. So you should be careful. You should make sure the child sleeps very peacefully in the night, approximately 8 hours in the night. And every day in the afternoon, at least 45 minutes to 1 hour nap they have to get, then only their cycle settles, and the medications what they have taking, they will adjust to the medications. If the sleep pattern is disturbed, these medications will disturb further sleep pattern, and they tend to sleep more in classes.
So at that time, it is better to just allow them to take rest
Yes, children.
instead of teaching any
Yes,
concept.
yes. Children, we are not going to keep beyond 20 minutes. No child can listen fully. So if they're
Yes.
sleeping, let them sleep, not to shout on the children. Okay,
Okay.
not only Caesar, it is for normal kid. 20-30
Yes,
minutes is
yes.
their attention span. Beyond that,
Yes.
how much knowledgeable they may not be going beyond that.
Yes, very true. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Someone, Mrs. Shikha, she has
Yeah.
Yeah.
asked,
Can
like
I
how to
ask,
deal
ma'am? I
with.
have one question.
Someone asked what is neurocutaneous markers means. So there are some genetic conditions. Okay, I think it is Ariba Khan. She has asked. Okay, so what are the neurocutaneous markers? Especially like sometimes there are 2-3 conditions like tuberous sclerosis or neurofibromatosis, something like that, where you see patches over the face on the body, or some swellings over the body, small swellings over the body, or you see multiple acne kind of thing over the face, not only on the nose, they see all over the face in children. Okay, so that is one of the common symptoms for neurofibroma or tuberous sclerosis. And these sometimes you see some patients will have patch over the face. Okay, so these conditions are associated with the brain tumors or brain injury or brain changes. So these are called neurocutaneous markers. If you see anything of these kind of markers, these has to be brought to the notice, and those patients has to be completely checked each and every details. Especially neurofibroma is very common, and which is being missed in all the people. Uh, how do another question from Shika? Uh, how to deal with child with Plateau-Pallas syndrome? Can they recover? Plateau-Pallas syndrome is one type of genetic disorder. You need to keep.
Can you mute? Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. So these are all genetic conditions, and these patients you have to be careful enough, and regular medication intake is very important.
Sir, is it curable? Sorry, sir, I'm Shikha only. Sir, is it curable? The child will recover soon, or sir, it's been
Generally,
told that.
yeah. Tell me.
Sir, it seems the child the occurrence started when he was 4 years old. Now he's 6 years, and the earlier episodes actually happened for 10 lasted for 10 minutes. This time when it
Okay.
happened, it continued for 1.5 hours. So it
Yeah.
seems
Yeah.
doctor has told him to be really really careful for the next two
Yes.
years. Why so? So why
Why
so
so?
that?
Because generally what happens is once seizures comes, there will be circuits forming, automatic circuits will be forming. If it is like seizure is episoding in a year, two or twice or thrice, generally medications will subside. But if it is continuously coming, what happens is the circuits form completely. We have to break that circuit. So in these conditions, we have to take medications for approximately 2 to 3 years. And once the seizures completely stop for 2 to 3 years, there is no episode for 2 to 3 years. We will do a EEG again. That is the brain waves we will study. If it is completely stopped, then we have to slowly decrease the medication. We should not stop the medications immediately. Then after 1 or 2 years, we'll stop the medications, and if it is not recurring, then it means that recovery is good. Okay.
Right, sir.
And
Thank you.
especially if it is beyond, the seizures occur multiple times beyond 30 minutes, they have to be taken immediately to hospital, because they may be less epileptic.
Cerebral
Okay.
damage.
Yeah. And another important thing is, once the child is growing, the weight will be increasing. The doctors give medications based on child's weight. Okay. For example, if a kid eats one idli, we eat 4 idlis. Okay, adult can't eat one idli and sustain. So what happens, automatically you will feel hungry. So every time you should be keeping on check on the weight. And if the child is increasing on weight, sometimes they may be lower on the medications, so they will develop seizures once again. To prevent that, every 3 to 6 months they have to have a follow up with the doctor. Generally what they say is, okay doctor, no problem came, we didn't come. Then suddenly they will come after 1.5 year, that patient has seizures. So this should not happen. Okay, once you come to the doctor, you have to check the weight every regularly. For example, Eptoin is the most common tablet. If it is if you're 10 kgs, we give only 100 milligrams. If it is 60 milligrams, 60 kgs, we increase to 300 milligrams. So according to the patient's weight, or according to the child's weight, we keep the medications. Okay, so this is the important thing which you have to keep in your mind.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll see. Um, can emotions trigger epilepsy? Yes, emotions. Dr. Mrs. Soumya, I think she asked this. Emotions play a significant role in epilepsy, especially when there is emotions. There will be lack of sleep, or when they cry. When they cry a lot, there will be increased activity, and there is significant changes of hormonal changes during these things, and they trigger epilepsy. They trigger seizures. After medication, if seizure comes, it is another question from Gaurav. After medication, if seizure comes again and again, so what can we do? This is focal seizure. Yeah. Sometimes it depends on, there are multiple medications available now. With the latest medications, the doctors will alter the medications. Sometimes some tablets may not be sufficient, or they may not be good for a child. They take the tablet, it is metabolized very fast and goes. So you have to meet a doctor. Some they may start a dual therapy or second medication or third medication accordingly. Okay. So does all the epileptic this is another question from Shijian Selvan. Sir, does all the epileptic patients are advised to continue medication for the rest of their lives continuously, or any recommend follow-up required between how many years for monitoring the test? That's what I'm telling. For example, if a child comes without any symptoms, without anything, with single episode, generally we don't start seizure, don't start medications. If a second seizure attacks, then we generally start the medications. Complete workup will be done, and we have to wait at least 1 year to 2 years to prevent that seizure circuit to form. After the seizure circuit stops, automatically we stop the medications. It is successful in 50 to 60%, but not all. Some patients may take, I have seen patients taking for 20 years, 30 years, all those medications. The side effects of these medications with the recent medications, the side effects are decreasing. Okay. I think, Sijan, you have any other doubt regarding that? If a girl starts seizing at the age of 11, another question from Sadhana Jaiswal. If a girl starts seizing at the age of 11 years for the first time, what's the cause? You have to clearly check all the things. Okay, you have to get a scan done, you have to check all the EEG, everything. But 11 years, you see, that is the area where the menstrual cycle starts for a child. So there is significant hormonal changes. So it may be idiopathic also. Okay. So if everything is ruled out, one episode of seizure, you need not worry. But 2 to 3, then we need to start the medications and stop after 1 or 2 years after all the medication stops. Sir, what is occipital seizure? Yeah, from Shika. So this is a occipital seizure. See, occipital region is where you see your eye fields are there. Whatever you see, it is processed in the occipital region. So what happens when there is a seizure in there? So automatically the normal neurons which are active for the light, they will have the activity fast. So what they will see a lot of flicker over the eyes. Okay, this presents as aura, and sometimes after that they will develop seizures, and this is called occipital seizure. It is same as normal seizure, and it is at different times. If it is occur in the parietal, you will have hand shaking, and if it occurs in the inside more posterior, then you will have paresthesias over your hand or face or anything. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, I think these are the questions. Any medication? I think everything. Yeah. Any other questions from any one of you? See, very simple. When a seizure comes, you have to be calm. You have to keep the child in position what I have explained. Immediately wait. See all the first aids. And teaching program is very, very, very important in special schools. Very, very important. And wait follow-up, doctor follow-up every 3 to 6 months. If the seizure stops, all the treatment doctors, seizure stops, afterwards you need not come and go to doctor, because some people have taboo. What to do? We are having seizure, something like that. And there are other things. Sometimes now what they feel is like, my kid has seizures in the childhood. Can she get married? Some people will have doubts like that. Actually, she can get married, because now if it is idiopathic seizure, generally it is not transferable. Your kid will not generally get it. But if there is a problem in the brain of the child, or if there is a genetic problem, then it transfers. The child may develop problem. But priorly, you have to inform the bride or bridegroom regarding whether there is a seizure history in the childhood, because generally I have seen so many people telling that they don't have any problem. After marriage, within 1 year, they will develop seizures, and afterwards there will be a lot of problem in the family life. This happens very commonly. This happens.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
being here.
everyone.
And continue to spread awareness on epilepsy and various disabilities in our society. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time. and we look forward to networking with all of you. So until next time, bye-bye.
Bye bye. Yeah. Have a nice day.